Air India Flight 171 soared out of Ahmedabad and within, approximately 32 seconds later, both engines cut out. Panic erupted in the cockpit as pilots attempted an emergency return. In this video, we dive into the final radio transmissions, examine the mysterious fuel cutoff switches, and explore theories of mechanical failure and sabotage. Check this out.
Now to the investigation into the crash of the Air India flight that killed 260 people with just one survivor. The preliminary report focusing on the pilots and some key equipment. ABC's Lama Hassan is following this story from London. Lama.
Crucial new details into what aviation investigators believe happened to the London-bound Air India plane, causing it to crash last month. Now, this initial report appears to be focusing on the actions of the pilots. The fuel to both engines was shut off just 3 seconds after takeoff. The switches providing fuel are normally on during a flight. Now, this caused both engines to lose thrust, and you can see this in the video capturing the Boeing 787 Dreamliner taking off from Ahmedabad Airport. Just 30 seconds later, it descends briefly before disappearing. Then you see a fireball explode in the sky. The plane crashed into a densely populated neighborhood, killing at least 260 people. Miraculously, one passenger survived. Now, according to the report, the switch for the left engine was turned back on, followed by the right engine, and an automatic restart began, but it was just too late. Both engines weren't able to get the full thrust. The report also documents the conversation in the cockpit at the time. One pilot asked the other why he did the cutoff, the other replying he did not do so. So there are still so many questions. Were those switches deliberately moved? Was this maintenance malpractice? Was it premeditated? And if that's the case, why? Now remember, this is an initial report, so the investigation will continue, and it could take months to get the full report.
Lama Hassan with the latest from London. Lama, thank you so much. And for more on this investigation, let's bring in aviation analyst and ABC News contributor, John Nance. John, my friend, it is good to see you. I know you've been looking at this report, and it seems to focus on the fuel switches. So can you tell us what those are and how hard are they to turn on or off?
When you're winding up the engines at the gate, when you're starting them, this is the central thing that you do, is put that in the run position. It's just really run and off, and it controls the fuel flow to the engine. So if you do turn them off in flight, you're going to get exactly what happened here, which is the engines will stop and start winding down. There's just no question now of what happened. The question is why.
And you're a longtime pilot. You have lots of experience on planes. Is this something that could have happened by accident?
No way. Absolutely not. The indications here are that a human hand purposefully took these two switches one after the other, and that tells me a lot, to the off position. These switches can't be just swept. In other words, if you hit them, they're not going to change their position. You have to pull them out and then reposition them. So this was not an accident.
This report also says that those fuel switches came back on just before the crash, and it was just too late, wasn't it?
That's correct. When you start winding an engine down in terms of the RPM, it takes a while to get it back up. And in fact, one of these engines was going to stagnate because it had gone down too far. The other might have been able to provide enough thrust if they had just had another couple of seconds. But unfortunately, there just wasn't any time left, and they ran out of airspeed.
They absolutely did. And where does this investigation head next? Will we ever learn why those switches were turned off in the first place? Because we know we have those cockpit recordings, but we don't hear too much there.
Gio, it's one of these situations where we can probably close in on a plausible explanation, I guess is the best way to say it, after a while, but we're never going to know for certain because it involves what was going on in the head of the individual who turned those switches off. Was this inadvertent? Was this some sort of a massive aberration mentally, or was it a purposeful act? I think we'll get closer to it, but that'll be with a lot of human factors investigation.
Some truly chilling questions in all of this. John Nance, we so appreciate your expertise in this matter. Thank you so much.
You bet. Thanks, you.
This is No Filter News. Truth served raw, bold, and uncut. Hit that sub, stay loud, and catch us on the next drop. We don't fade out. We level up.